everyone, and welcome to my DIY for today. I'm going to show you how to take this jar and turn it into a useful jar just by a little duct tape and some creativity. I can't say that other word apparently. I'm all tongue tied. But I have these two here. I did a DIY on how I made these two for my, as you can see, my makeup brushes that I have and stuff. These are ordinary glass, so you can do this with almost anything, okay? So, these are my makeup brushes and stuff. These are actually on my beauty, hair, and health channel, but it's the same concept. You can do it with any kind of glass and stuff, and you can get really creative. But all right, this is what we're going to make today. It's just a glass jar that I use some duct tape to kind of make a color on the outside. This I use for pens and pencils. I got tired of looking at just a plain glass jar. Okay, this one, number one, I'm not a Raiders fan, but Scruffy is, so I made this one for he has insulin syringes that he has to keep quite close to the refrigerator, and the refrigerator is kind of in a public place, and he really got tired of telling everybody and having them see it, so I made him kind of something like this, and everybody oohs and ahs over the jar more than what's in the jar. So that was my plan with this. What you're going to need is something to cut your duct tape with. So I'm going to use an Ecto knife and a pair of scissors. You're going to need your glass container, and this is just a regular Mason canning jar that I got 12 of for about between $5 and $10 at Walmart. Okay, then you're going to need to pick some duct tape, and I like pattern duct tape myself, preferably. So I have the green zebra stripe. I have some Raiders duct tape here. I'm not going to use any of those because I've already used those. I did get the rainbow one because it reminds me of my mom and the hippie days and stuff. It kind of makes me happy. But I'm going to use the purple and blue cheetah for this one. So, alright. First thing is, I can barely use this hand, is you don't really need the top, but I save them because if I use them for hair ties or bobby pins, in England you call them grips, or any kind of other like metal hair clip that seem to have legs and they do walk away for some reason. I just keep the lid so that I have the lid to, put on, and so that if it falls off, they don't go everywhere. The glass might drop and break, but they won't go everywhere. So I do keep my lids. Alright, I'm going to move these off to the side. And I'm going to move my jar off to the side. First thing is you can measure your container with seamed sewing tape or a sewing measuring thing. It's that flexible, either the plastic or fabric. They're made out of fabric, but it's a great big long flexible ruler. I am just going to kind of eyeball it, so that's how I'm going to do this. So you want to get enough of it to work with. So I'm just going to put mine down and pull. I'm going to do a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, about a good 10 inches. Okay, and it's better to have more than less. Okay, let me see. So I'm eyeballing it at about 2 strips. Okay, so I'm going to do the next one. I'm either gonna poke myself or I'm gonna hurt my my wrist again. I hurt my wrist by picking up my cat. His name's Jack. You've met him. You'll meet him kind of like in some of the videos, because I'm gonna do some videos. And I picked him up and he's really, really heavy and he pulled all these muscles. So, all these muscles here. So I'm going to do this on tape 2. And just take that off. Okay? Now I'm done with my Ecto knife. So I'm just gonna safely put it over there because I have a tendency to poke myself. Okay, on a mason jar, there's this kind of, you can't see it, but if you ever see a mason jar, it has writing on it. You don't have to have a big mason jar like this. You can get the little mason jars if you're doing just kind of like little rubber grips for, or we call them rubber bands here, or elastic bands to braid your hair, and you put right at the end to keep it secure. You can use a smaller one and have different sizes. You can use a really big one and you can put your brushes in. You know, little things like that, brushes, combs and stuff. But all mason jars have a print on it, okay? So, and I don't have the paint to paint the inside of these, or I would. So I don't have that. Okay, now, you just take you put your glass, your writing down on the back, and hope like heck it stays. And I kind of want my seam in the back, so I'm going to put this in the front, kind of wrap it around like that. Okay, now if you haven't noticed, my duct tape barely squeakies by. And the good part about this is, if you mess up, you can always undo it and redo it back. And secure it down. Just make sure that it's just on there real tight, okay? Now, I leave this part up here open so that you can just put the lid back on, okay? And you can decorate the lid. You can put some hot glue and some ribbon around so it's like real more decorative, or you can take the top and put hot glue on and fake flowers on top if you want. I'm not that kind of a girl. I'm not into all the flour and stuff. I am an instant gratification kind of person, so yeah. So this is what your first tape should look like. Now your second tape, okay, should butt up or overlap the first one by a little bit, okay? Just by a little bit. And if it's not perfect, then by golly, don't worry about it, because no one in this world is perfect. My dad taught me that. I used to stress out big time over things I couldn't control. So now you have your bottom on like this, okay? And you'll notice that there's these little, it doesn't fit all the way around because mason jars have a kind of round curve to the bottom part where it goes, then it goes flat. So you just kind of got to smush down all the seams so they look good, like that, okay? And voila. there is your mason jar with a bit of DIY duct tape type stuff. And it's just a little bit of a decoration. Okay, so this is how you do the mason jars. See? So, I hope you enjoyed. If you like it, leave a thumbs up, tell your friends. If you like what this is doing, then hit the subscribe button, come on back. And I will see you next week for another DIY project. And you guys have a safe and sound week. And leave me a comment down below and tell me how this worked out for you guys. Hopefully you'll do it. I'll talk to you later. Bye!